En we zijn live. We zijn live. Nice. Ik druk die shit even snel aan op de achtergrond. Ik ben bezig met een ontbijtje. Maar als er iets gebeurt, kom zo snel mogelijk terug. Hè? Lekker man. Wat een kut weer ook weer. Zoek je nog een karretje? Ik zou net zeggen, ze zijn nog niet zo heel lang bezig. 2 minuten. Klopt dat dan wel? Even kijken hoor. 10 minuten, 10 seconden. Ja, nice. Even zien, moest ik even nachecken hè. Lekker man. Nice. Oh, ze hebben de audiologos ook een beetje aangepast. Dat donkerrood. Lekker man, prima. Als er iets gebeurt, I'll be back. Een beetje gay, ik weet het. Maar ik moet ontbijten. Ja, dat. Lekker man.
Session. So as your tyres are degrading, you as a driver are improving. Only a tenth of a second between Hadjar and Max Verstappen. Though Isaac Hadjar, by the way, has the honour of being the only driver ever to make their Grand Prix debut in Shanghai. Of course, he didn't race in Australia last year. Sadly, he only lasted 10 laps this year before that power unit issue forced him to retire from the race. His middle sector was a 28.6 and that was a 10th up on Max Verstappen. So the two Red Bulls going through the first 2 sectors here pretty much even Stevens neck and neck. It's got a nice slipstream here as well from the car in front. Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, thank you very much. I know Bottas was going slowly, but everything helps. And braking into turn 14, that's what you're looking for. Just kissing the apex curve there. Get the car as square as you can, as straight as you can on the exit. Feed the car through that last left-hand corner. And we've got obviously a mid-corner for Hadjar, but I think that's a pretty respectable lap time straight away. And trading fastest sectors with his teammate Verstappen, who comes to the line now. And slow by about 6/100ths of a second.
Hadjar is sneller dan Verstappen, what the fuck? What the hell?
Not exactly taking the easiest route through turn 10. Onwards we go now to the second series of really slow corners that tests the driver's patience as much as their car's handling. Really oversteering as well, and I just wonder, I mentioned it before at the top there, I hope for their sake the aero balance is the same between the two rear wings, because I think it was a brave move to do that switch in between. So maybe this oversteer that we're now seeing for the Ferrari is a result of that. But then at these times you've got to trust the data, but honestly the car doesn't look like it has the same kind of balance that it did before. And he was about half a second down on Lewis Hamilton through the middle sector with Charles Leclerc on this lap. Crosses the line, goes fastest with a 1:34.2. What a
Let's hoor.
For the sprint last year, he's got the Alpine right in front of him. And Franco Colapinto, who still goes...
What the fuck, Lulu? Halve seconde bro, what the fuck man? What the hell?
Around this 5.4 kilometre circuit, and I think that's the look. Hamilton was definitely compromised there, by the way. Yeah, from Colapinto. I was going to say, Franco Colapinto, had he gone out of the garage 2 seconds later, would have been right where Lewis Hamilton didn't want him to be, coming out of that final corner. And Colapinto is going slowly because he's opening up for a fast lap and he wants to slingshot across the line, but he doesn't want to go too early. Luckily here, it's not like the situation we had in Melbourne, because the start line in terms of timing is so close to the final corner. Yeah. You didn't just open it up like usual, so you don't have the situation of the cars creeping up to the line at half throttle like we had in Melbourne last week. Yeah, I do think he left it a little later than we would have done last year, and that is something we're all going to have to learn this year. Hulkenberg goes second fastest. From Leclerc, Hadjar, Verstappen, now Ocon in 6th, Bortoletto 8th.
What?
Goes 4th fastest overall.
Hulkenberg, lekker man. Audi.
Page here. 24.5 from the
Lekker, man.
McLarens. They're about 3/10 off through the first sector. George Russell's just gone 3/10 faster in the first sector on his first flying lap. Piastri is round about the 10th off the pace after the first two sectors. Slowest time, Valtteri Bottas. Arvid Lindau only put 6 laps in the practice session, and Liam Lawson currently 10th. Lawson was slowest at SQ1 and Q1 last season in what was his last race for Red Bull before dropping to the Racing Bulls team. Antonelli is going well. The two Mercedes definitely the cars to catch here. But you never know what's going to happen in these early stages of these new regulations as to whether drivers are going to get the full benefits of what they've got underneath them or not. Piastri to the line, and it's got 8 of a second and misses out to Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris
Piastri tweede, what the fuck?
to cross the line, defending champion, the 35th Formula 1 World Champion. And he goes second fastest.
Oh, daar komen ze.
It's quicker than his
Akkoele, koele, kabali. Ja, dat dacht ik al. Russell.
George Russell puts even more distance between the Mercedes and the Ferraris. He is 4/10 up on Antonelli. Yeah, so the two McLaren drivers fighting
Lekker, man.
once again, very evenly matched, but they're not at the top of the timesheets anymore. They've got a little bit more work to do. Verstappen improves his time, pops in front of Charles Leclerc.
Alsnog een seconde er vanaf, hè? What the fuck, man?
P10. George Russell's time was made up in the first and final sector. Antonelli pretty much matched him during the middle part of the lap, which is quite tricky. And part of the lap, Charles Leclerc 2/10 down for the first two sectors. Yeah, Stream reporting that his stopping power is pretty bad in that McLaren. So yeah, still like I said, work to be done with McLaren, but for me it looked like the two drivers got absolutely everything out of their equipment just then. Really two nice laps from McLaren. The stopping power isn't just brakes, so it's like braking from the engine as well, using the engine braking system. Last Stroll gets a time on the ball. His first flying lap was deleted from track limits at turn 9. And slow moving Pierre Gasly manages to keep nicely out of the way. Charles Leclerc, decent final exit, decent final corner, and goes second fastest ahead of Kimi Antonelli behind George Russell. These tyres should do quite a few laps.
Oh, Leclerc. Waarom had ik Gasly in mijn hoofd?
Fastest. Crossing the line now will be Franco Colapinto to start the lap. Alex Albon goes 70, and here's Lewis Hamilton. And second fastest by only a 10th from George
Lekker,
Russell.
man.
As every lap goes on, the times will get faster. This track is rubbering in all the while.
Track rubbering in, like I said, the drivers getting back up to speed as well from only that one practice session that we've had and being out of the car for their nice 5-star lunches that have had, no doubt, in their hospitality.
All back to learning about the gear shifts once again. Nico Hulkenberg in qualifying 3 has got to that top 10 in 5 of his last 6 visits to Shanghai. And look, if this was Q2, he'd be in for a top 10 place once more.
Yeah, really impressive Hulkenberg. Within that second of George Russell's fastest lap time, the teammakers are letting him do.
Also, that goes down in 14. I think he's just.
He's getting right away.
Through turn 1 of Isaac Hadjar, who was going through.
His eyes were everywhere. He didn't know whether to go on the inside and slow it right down or pick up the speed again like he did. His second option, pick up the speed and go wide to let the Red Bull through.
So look at Barcelona. Did he have an issue out in the final corner, maybe?
Wow.
Yes, he did.
Ja, dat moet je niet doen, hè, Bortoletto.
Almost doing the same thing. He was right on the limit. That was over the limit, my friend.
Tried to turn in, grip wasn't there, bailed out, don't want to ruin the tyres. Bernie Collins, race control, down to you.
Yeah, I was just going to I went back to listen to his radio there, and he's complaining of, he said, look, check my engine, my gears are not coming in, so not happy from that side. A few other things to mention. The track is improving, like you said, probably 6/10 is what Hamilton gained between his first and his second push lap. So big track improvement through that, despite the tyre degradation. But even myself, Mercedes, no one ever see if I'm coming in completely in that stop session early, already getting ready for next week.
Yeah, they're definitely safe, but with a minute to go, Sergio Perez not taking part is out. Valtteri Bottas is the slowest time. Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, Franco Colapinto and Alex Albon in a battle to try and get out of that bottom 6. At that time, I think Hadjar only 11 fastest as he crosses the line.
Zo, goed joh dat Cadillac. Hey,
Russell as Verstappen goes 8 fastest.
lekker man.
1.8 seconds slower.
Nou, Aston Martin verwacht je het nu wel van.
Last year was 1:31.2 from Lewis Hamilton. So all this talk of much slower times. 1.8 for the start of a new
De
race.
rest is even afwachten. Hè?
Compared to the end of a previous race.
Lekker man.
It's not bad to be fair.
Yeah, they achieved that times in a very different way compared to last year. They're much faster in acceleration and in straight speed as well, thanks to the straight line mode. Somewhat a dusty mode on the exit time.
That can't still be from the Bortoletto incident.
I don't think it was. No. Yeah, it's fairly still here, but not Lannister. Lawson pops up into P9. That was good up by him.
Lindblad goes third to P13, still a bit on the cusp to be fair.
Well, to give him credit, he missed out on the majority of FP1 as the checkered flag comes out.
That's good for Gasly. Goes 7th fastest. And Charles into the top 3.
Moet je dit wel even snel kijken.
So the first car to take the checkered flag, Pierre Gasly.
Calipino, oké. Leclerc, oké. Ja, top 7 is op zich wel veilig inderdaad. Sainz, nee.
Carlos Sainz is out. He like Arvid Lindblad was another. They lost a huge amount of time during the
Nee.
practice session. So Juan Williams out.
Albon.
Williams out on the track, and Alex Albon is coming to the line now.
Beerman, wat doet Beerman?
Finish his final time, and he stays in
Oh.
the bottom 6. And it was Ollie Beerman who went off the track.
Ja, dat ging ook niet helemaal lekker hè.
So many
Ollie.
drivers fall foul of that final corner. You really have to
Ollie.
be careful. There's no instincts as a racing driver to back off the entry to pick up speed on the exit, but it's a great bit of circuit design.
Ollie.
Turn 16 and yeah, it's there to fight every traffic go wrong.
Hij moet wel meekijken hè.
Alex Albon and mentioned
Ja, Bottas is klaar, Perez is klaar tuurlijk.
but he couldn't improve on his time. It leaves Alonso and Stroll.
De Astons zijn klaar. Williams is klaar. En that's it. That's it? Ja. Calipino door, Lindblad door, Hadjar door, Bortoletto door, Beerman, Max. Jeetje, kijk naar Red Bull, ouwe. Ik zit te rippen.
Yeah, Russell set his
Kijk die Red Bulls, ouwe.
on the first lap.
Yeah, so check this vulnerability, it's horrendous.
Yeah, apparently struggling a lot with drivability, the downshifts in particular. Let's have a listen to this though.
Maakt dezelfde fout, denk ik dus.
Oh yeah, you could really hear it, couldn't you? As he picked up the throttle. So that's the drivability.
Houd hem vast, dat is op zich wel nice.
That's the exit, and that is a lot of power and deployment, and something he wasn't expecting. We would refer to that usually as a torque spike, and this is what we believe contributed to Oscar Piastri's moment, his race-ending moment in Melbourne on the Alpha.
Lekker man.
And how it turned forward.
So that's the first part of sprint qualifying done. Sergio Perez
SQ1 klaar. Snel mijn ontbijt even afmaken, ik ben bijna klaar.
Alonso P19, Alex Albon P18, and both Williams out in SQ1 for the first time in Shanghai. welcome back to Shanghai. We've had the first part of sprint qualifying, and the next 6 slowest cars will miss out on the chance to go to the top 10. This is Lando Norris. And you see some loads going through that car on the straight line even.
The thing is, when you see it reattach that front wing, did you see how much dive there was in the car? And it just shows the power of how much is released when the wings open.
You have to take that into account when you're measuring your skid blocks.
Hallo.
The start of a race or a sprint race.
You absolutely do, and that's why.
Lekker ontbijt.
Predicted this weekend, but for any time we have rain this
Stukje brood met kaas, komkommer en ham.
the front wing at least, so you won't
Lekker,
have
man.
the rear wing, the Activero.
Moet nog even snel.
For that very reason, you'll just
Even kijken. Ja, die audio wil ik graag horen alsjeblieft, dankjewel. Jullie horen deze microfoon, dat is ook heel belangrijk.